Season's greetings and welcome to the JaeTae Show.
The JaeTae Show.
Thank God for another opportunity to be here and to be one episode closer to episode 50. Oh my goodness, we would be at 50 and past, but we had some mishaps a couple of weeks. But we thank God that we have made it this far. I believe that even now that we are probably at a year of the JaeTae Show. But we thank God that this is episode 48 or 49. And so we are one episode closer. And as we were discussing topics, JaeTae just shared one of her thoughts was that we are now in the second to the last month of the year. And so, Tay, why did that? Well, I'm sorry. First and foremost, I'm not. I've greeted and opened up. You want to greet the people and then get into why that stood out to you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Actually, I think I saw a memory pop up the other day about us, the first episode back of the JaeTae shows. I think we just hit a year on Friday because I clicked on it, but I couldn't view it for some reason. So, but the topic came up because, once a new year hit, you have such expectations of what you want the year to be like, what you want the year to end like, and then that's on January 1st. But then quickly God shows you on January 2nd that you're not in control and that I'm gonna show you what this year gonna be like. And in spite of just making it to almost the end of this, the end of the year, just speaks volumes that he didn't have to keep us this whole year already so far. So that's why it came to me.
And it just, when you said that about starting out the year, I had a couple of thoughts, but the main one that's sticking out now is that we started out the year at the Potter's house. New Year's Eve, we were at the Potter's house again, able to bring in the year. And I truly wholeheartedly believe that it set the precedence for this year. And even though you say on the second that we start to realize that some of the things that we are planning are not going to come to pass. What I am so grateful for as we are at the second day of November now is how much we have been able to accomplish this year. And it makes me think about something I used to do, basically like a year in review. And I could just imagine if I took the time to really look back at this year, at the things that we participated in, the things that we've hosted, the things that we've accomplished, even being able to add in things like singing at the graduation. And then, of course, by the time I do the year-end review, I would have sung at 2 more commencements, and being able to add those kind of things in, it just makes a difference. And, honestly, in spite of the hardships that we have endured, truly, we can say this has been a blessed year. We could say the same thing about 2023, 2022. Now, 2021 for me was really, really a hard year, getting sick and coming from 2020 into 2021, and enduring all of that made that year a challenge. But we still were able to accomplish and move forward. And even in thinking about being sick today, the homegoing celebration I served at was for a lady at the church that I play organ for, who was just such a sweetheart. I didn't even have a clue that she was sick, but she was just, it's to the point that she was so sweet to me, and just one of those kind of people that it even brings tears to my eyes to just know that she has passed away, and to know that she was sick before she passed away, because she was just such a light. She was truly a light. She let her light shine. She didn't say much that I heard, but her light was so bright. And so that just it made an impression on me. And I would look for her. I would be glad to see her, because she would be glad to see me. And I've shared before about people that when you see them, your heart smiles. You smile. You are glad to see them, and they are also glad to see you, and you can tell that it's genuine. And so she was truly one of those people. And so even in sharing that, I use that as a segue to say what JaeTae saying, that we've made it this far. There have been so many in our close network of those that we know who have passed this year. Some so unexpected that it rocks the community, and especially the parts that they played in the community. I'm thinking about one particular young man in the gospel community, Johnny Johnson Jr., who he just he knew so many people, and he was able to do one of the things that I've struggled, and I've talked about it, but I've struggled to do it. He would call the singers and touch bases with them for engagements and things. And he would text, but he would also call. And he was just so well known throughout the country. And so his passing as a 30-year-old, or in his 30s, mid to late 30s, it shocked everyone. It was so sudden. And so just so many passing this year has been something to deal with, because we do understand that we all will go that way. But you're just always shocked when it happens, especially if they weren't sick. And then there are those that are sick, who have fought the sickness off so many times that you just believe that warrior is going to get through this sickness again, but this time was the last time. And it still shocks you, because you had the mindset, by faith, they are going to get up again. The same faith that got them up before is going to get them up again. And then when they don't get up, it does shock you. It does leave you in a place of just, I can't explain it, but you're just, I want to say, I keep thinking mind blown, I don't know if that's the right word to say, but your mind is, you're taken aback that this is actually, it actually happened this time, you know? And so uh to be here is something. It for me, I am so ready for God to call me home that whenever he calls, I believe I am ready to answer. This week I had a scare, and it wasn't really a scare, but I knew that death was lurking very closely, and I felt it. And I made JaeTae aware. It was in the middle of the night, the way things had transpired. And I remember being at peace in that time, and that let me know that I'm ready for whenever it comes. But at the same time, I shifted to speak life, because I know that the work that God has put before me, that is weighing on me, it is not finished. I am not done. There is more work for me to do. And so knowing that it's not time, and he assured me that it is not time. And so to be here in this moment, sharing with you, it means something. We're not here just to be on a show, to say we're doing a show, or have some kind of platform, but we are here because we are doing this show on purpose, with purpose. There's a purpose for us recording the JaeTae show. There's a purpose when I record the J Bass Today show, because there are things that God has put in us to share that need to be heard, that need to be released. And so thank God for the opportunity to have the JaeTae show where we can have conversations about life. And so the next topic that came to mind is, before JaeTae, I've said a lot about the passing of people this year, and you've experienced some of that passing, even especially considering those that have passed, that have fought off death before, and got through sickness before, but this time it was it. And even throughout your life, you've experienced so much. I mean, we all have, but you have. And so, is there anything on your heart to share?
Not really. I really don't like the topic of death. It just, I really can never put my words like how it feels or how it makes me feel. Um, I just, I don't know. I Yeah, I don't know. It's just something about death and losing people that it just, yeah, that's just like not a sore spot, but it's like, like a spot that I just choose to, I guess, die. I kind of feel like when people die, like they took a piece with me, like a piece of me left with them. It's like what I feel like. So it's like, I don't think I can be whole because so much of me is gone with that person. So, yeah.
See, that was worth saying. I'm glad you continued, because that was worth saying. And when you say that, what comes to mind to me is something I've shared before with you, that the truth is, when someone passes, no one knows how close you and that individual were. There are some people who pass that we knew from a distance. But then when it's someone closer and someone most often that it makes the greatest impact that we've known all of our lives, it does make an impact. And it does, you know, I truly agree that it takes a piece of you, because that means now I have a phone number in my phone that I really can't call anymore, because the person that I would use that number to call is no longer available to answer that call. And just that thought, it is a missing piece. Just the thought of not being able to call them anymore is a missing piece. And there are some people that you have leaned on for so long that when you needed prayer, when you needed a word of wisdom, when you needed a hug, that was your go-to person. And now that go-to is gone. And it makes a difference. And sometimes people can make it seem as if it meant nothing, that you ought to just get over it. But oftentimes those people don't mean to you what the person who passed meant. And so for them to say something like that is offensive. And really oftentimes it is something that causes a rift between you and that person, because you don't know what this individual meant to me and what their passing has done to me. You know, I'm thinking now, I initially thought about my grandmother. I think about Desmond often. I think about Overseer. But as I was thinking about wisdom and prayer, I thought about Minister Adams. I still have his number, but I cannot call him for prayer or for words of wisdom or to tell him the accomplishments that have gone on and hear him celebrate and get excited. To be able to talk vision and dreams, just like with Desmond. You miss those things, especially when you spent so much time. And you know that the connections were genuine. And so that is this topic and conversation. It just, you know, just to be aware that you don't know what that person meant to the person that you're talking to. And so it's just good to tread lightly in the things that you say and that you do. Um,
After my grandpa passed, I kept his phone, and I think we kept it on for like 6 months, still paid the phone bill. And so I would call it like every day, because, you know, he would have this dry old, this Willie, you know what to do, you know. And I mean, it was just, I should have kind of recorded it now that I think about it.
Yeah.
But it was just soothing to hear that dry spirit. And when the
you
phone,
were so used to
I
it.
was so used to it.
Yeah.
So when the phone got turned off, I would call it. And I was like, you know, it was just like, okay, then. But then one day I called it, and then somebody answered. And I remember calling AT&T. I was like, can I, you know, block off this phone number? You know, because this is my grandfather's phone number and somebody has it. Lady was like, you can't do that. So then I called the number back and I was like, do you mind seeing if you can get this number changed? Because this was my grandfather's number. Since I learned how to use a phone, like this is my grandpa number. And the lady did not understand where I was coming from. And she's like, well, just don't call it again. I was like, no, I'm gonna continue to call it. I can tell you now because it's in my phone and I won't call it. And she was just like, no. And she's like, well, I can get you blocked. So I called AT. I mean, I just went back and forth with those people, back and forth. And I'm thinking these people probably think I'm crazy, but they just don't understand. Like, this is one of the first phone numbers I learned. I didn't learn 911 first. You know what I'm saying? I learned his phone number first. That's who my 911 was. So I didn't have to call the police or the fire department. I called my grandpa. So to tell me to delete it is like, no. Like, yeah.
Wow. And that's interesting because my grandmother's phone number is one of the first I learned. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Life, huh? And it's just something. Look at what the phone number meant because of who it was tied to, you know? Okay. It's just things like that. They really tell a story. And it just shows again the difference when you were close to someone, and then when you have taken care of them through their sickness into death, it does something even different. It's a whole nother level. And so God bless you, JaeTae. Thank you for sharing. Before we got on, we went to the store and we were listening to a sermon entitled Shift the Weight. And I love that the preacher started with talking about airplanes and how the weight was getting so heavy because of the fuel and the other things that they needed to add for it to go greater distances and to be able to carry more. And she kind of got off, and I'm gonna finish to see how she wraps this topic up. But to me, it spoke so many things, but she did share how so many of us are carrying such heavy weight because throughout life, the things that we've gone through have been packed on us. We've learned from it. We've felt the weight of what we've learned, and we're carrying it. And not everyone can carry the weight that you carry. As I listen to a lot of the things that JaeTae shares, even just being a woman, and then with the passing of family members, and is so many other things, she carries a lot of weight. But the thing about it is, God designed her to be able to carry it. And what I love knowing is that as we carry these heavy weights, we're not carrying it alone, that God is with us. But being able to carry that weight does bring on a certain level of anointing, especially a level of anointing when we believe in Jesus Christ and his resurrection, knowing that Jesus is with us, being able to trust and believe in him. It really causes the weight to mean something totally different. It can be heavy, but that heaviness causes us to press like we wouldn't if we weren't bearing that weight. And it just, hearing that really is speaking to me, and that's one of the reasons I absolutely intend on finishing it, because I really want to hear how it is wrapped up, because it's something I want to know why the title of the sermon was Shift the Weight. And I've assumed with talking about the airplane and having so much weight that they realized they had to redistribute the weight throughout the plane so that it could get up and to go and do what it needed to do. And so then what is the revelation for us? How do we redistribute the weight? And part of that, to me, it just in my own spiritual eyesight, is casting our cares upon the Lord and knowing that He cares for us, and so that He then too helps to carry that weight. So we redistributed it where we're not carrying it alone, but the one with us is helping us with it. And to be able to say that in itself is a blessing. And so that is my sharing for that particular topic. JaeTae, did you have anything that spoke to you?
Not really. I mean, yes, but I don't know. It's here goes God knows. It's like when you said that we carry the weight, and it make us do things, make you think about me listening to music and why I stay on prayer call live, why I go to Bible study, why attend Sunday school, is because I know that the weight is heavy, and that's the only way that I'm able to get by. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, that's why I just don't just choose. Well, I guess it is a choice, but I know that I have to. By now, I know that it's easy for me to fall into something. So it's even easier for me just to make the decision to not carry the weight about myself and use the outlets that God has given.
See, that's good. That is good. The weight it has a responsibility of you doing things that you probably otherwise wouldn't do, which also benefit your spiritual growth. So what a blessing. What a blessing. What a blessing. What a way to close that topic. I do want to invite you all. We are so close. We're still getting in sponsors for our JBM Keys fundraiser. To sponsor a key is $20. In order to pay, you can pay via Zelle, which is 409-996-8791. Again, for your hearing, that is 409-996-8791. Or you can use Cash App, which is $JBass Ministries. That is $JBassMinistries. You can do this anytime, and I am believing for overflow with the JBM Keys, because guess what? We have JaeBass Songbook Volume 8, and as soon as Volume 7 is done, I'm getting started on Volume 8. And something in me just keeps saying that it's a chance, instead of a whole year to finish Volume 8, that we're probably going to get it done by the time the June events come. And so I am trusting, I am believing God, and I give Him all the glory in advance for the victory. And so please, by all means, if you are led to sponsor a key, this is my life's purpose. And one of the things that she said, this is a weight for me. This music is a weight to me. Even though I recognize that it is God's music, he used me to write the music. And he used that same music to save my life when I was ready to take my life. It was the reason that I saw to live, the only reason. And so it has become a weight to get it out, to make sure that while I am breathing with health and strength, that I am able to release and record and release as much of this God-given music as possible. And so many are not sharing in the weight and sponsoring because they don't understand the weight. They don't understand what it means to me. Even though I'm sharing, they're hearing, but they don't hear. And so it's okay. But if you hear me, I would love for you to be one of our angels to sponsor a key. And if you don't want to sponsor a key, which is just sponsoring a key, you'll be on the poster board forever. And I'm making a digital copy. You'll be on that forever. But also, we have the 50/50 fundraiser. Hey, it's the 50/50 fundraiser. It is back for the third time. We actually do, I believe, have three people who have already given toward this endeavor. It ends in about 2 weeks. And so you have time to get in on the 50/50 fundraiser. How it works is whatever is raised by the time the deadline arrives, JBass Ministries will receive 50% in order to go towards the CD project being completed. And then whoever wins when we spin the wheel of names will also receive 50% of the pot. And so it could be you. And so we would love for you to participate and be a part. And the ways to pay are the same way that they are for the JBM Keys fundraiser. Zelle 409-996-8791 and Cash App $JassMinistries. God bless you all. JaeTae, any final closing words?
I'm glad you brought up what she said in the sermon, because it made me think. You said that's why people don't sow, is because they're not carrying the weight, but rather you're carrying the weight or not. If you know this individual, which you must do if you're watching this or if you've heard about it, then the way to fix it is to ease the load, and ease the load is where you participate. We all can join in, and even if you don't have 20, whatever you can sow, because then somebody else maybe can sow a few dollars, and then guess what?
Y'all have the key together.
You'll have the key together.
Mm-hmm.
So don't let the 20 discourage you. Even if you don't have 20, the 50/50 is cheaper. You can participate with that. So just jump aboard. Let's help let's help ease the weight so we can get these CD projects out, because I'm ready to sing some of these Volume 7 songs, and this is holding us up.
Yeah. And that has been something that has been a challenge for me, because even as you sang about Volume 7 and even some of the songs for Volume 8 that y'all did live, yeah, you've heard those songs, but you can't imagine the songs that you haven't heard, that I just believe when you hear, you'll be like, oh my goodness, you had that too, but that's one of the things about the music saving my life is I realized that the music had blessed me, and I've written so many more songs that just truly speak since that life-saving day. And it just is a burden. It's a burden to get out. I am burdened to release this music. And the truth is, I have the work ethic, but God has not released the funds to me directly. And it is for me to trust that he will send forth his laborers who believe that this is ground that is good and worth sowing into. That you will receive a return on your investment. It's assured, because even if you don't get, if God doesn't bless you with money in return, you'll have music that you can listen to that will help you to get through. And so I honor God for these revelations and things of understanding that those who sow will be blessed. If they go back and listen to what they sold into, I wholeheartedly believe you will be blessed. And so God bless you all. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the JaeTae Show. Thank you so much for your support in almost 50 episodes. And we just look forward to greater. Thank you for joining us. God bless.